All right, Hotspot continues, and we have Candidate Conversations. It's a part of the program that we do every Tuesday and Thursday where we introduce you to your family members, your friends, possibly your classmates. You've probably seen them in church. These are Guamanians who have made the decision, the conscious decision, to want to run as members of the forthcoming 37th Guam legislature. They want to fight for you, and they want to represent you as senators. And so we're introducing you to them, telling you about their platforms, their motives for running, who they are, and what makes them want to be public servants. And we have three such amazing members of our community today. Of course, we have the incumbent Senator Telo Taitague. Half a day, Senator.
Half a day, Jason. Thank you so much for having me. I think I could take this off a little bit.
Yeah, whatever you're most comfortable with. So there's that $1 million smile.
Thank you. I probably have a suntan, right? You know, all this is white and this is dark, but
I think we all dealt with that for about 2 years.
Yeah, and I think we're probably going to deal with it a little bit longer since this new outbreak that's coming out. So.
Oh gosh. Well, you know, we hope and pray that like our island does well. So, so welcome to the show. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Also seeking a role in the legislature, Mr. Armando Dominguez, a Democrat. Sir, very good to see you.
John.
Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to say too, that is a fantastic jacket. I love that jacket. That's a really nice shade of green.
Which one?
Yeah. Very nice. Thumbs up.
Thank you.
And it matches with the pants too. You look very, very good. So thank you for being here, Mr. Dominguez.
Yes.
All right. And then way over there and way from the southern village of Hagat. All right.
Yes.
Represented well. Roy Gamboa, also a Democrat. Roy, buenas, half a day.
Half a day, good morning, Jason. Thank you for having us on the show this morning.
All right, so I'd like to give each of you the opportunity. We'll give you a minute and we'll start in the same order. So Senator as the incumbent and as the lady, you know, we are gentlemen on this show. We'd like to start with you, and maybe if you look into that camera, just tell your fellow Guamanians a little bit about yourself, maybe something they don't know about you as you seek re-election.
Well, I'm a very, open person and very approachable, but half a day. My name is Telo Taitague. I'm a daughter of the South. However, I'm living in Tamuning, the beautiful village of Tamuning. I started in the private sector for many years and became your senator in the 30th Guam legislature. I am currently your senator in the 36th. I'm running again because I believe the people of Guam want someone who is willing to ask the hard questions, not afraid to call out those individuals who lost the people's trust. And I think I stress on accountability and transparency. So I'm running again to be your public servant and humbly ask for your support.
All right, thank you very much, Senator Telo Taitague. Now, Roy, I just want to point something out because I was complimenting the senator on the $1 million smile and on Mr. Dominguez for his jacket. Sure. You've got great socks, bro. Those Argyles are fantastic. Hey, no, those are absolutely amazing.
Actually, Jason, these are actually a little bit toned down from what I'm used to using.
Really?
The kids over the years have a hard time finding gifts for Dad. And so I told him, you know, besides shirts, get me some of the crazy socks. And this is actually very toned down for what I'm used to using.
Well, you know, my boss, Marie, back there, she usually gifts me, like, on Christmas with a pair of socks. I've got a really cool pair of Iron Maiden socks.
Awesome.
I gotta wear those next time. I got Iron Maiden socks, I got Slayer socks.
Sweet.
I don't wear those when I interview anybody from church, obviously, but you know.
I believe I have 2 drawers of socks, and the kids just have a blast. Dad, do you already have this? Do you already have that? And so it's been fun. It's been
very,
fun.
very nice. Okay, we'll get to you in a minute, Roy.
Sure.
But Mr. Armando Dominguez, we'd like to give you 1 minute to tell the people about your platform, please.
Well, I've been trying to participate in the Guam election to contribute what I know of the shortcoming of the island. And there are still improvement, but there are a lot of correction that I heard from the tourists when I go abroad. And basically, we know the problem, that it takes time to fix up. We know the roads are being fixed, but then we know a pothole 1 week, until like that. We have to have immediate concern on the repair of all these things. It takes years before a thing will be things like that. You know, you don't want to criticize because we want to cooperate on every aspect of life in Guam because we are one island. And then we could do this in a very friendly way, solve every problem in a diplomatic way. We have a lot of problem going on which we should not have a problem because we are part of America. And America, when you go to America, everything seems to look nice, but in Guam, it looks like you're, I told you, Philippines is more a better up when it comes to roads and everything.
No, so
So
what,
I had to say that.
so I'd like to talk about some of your ideas for
Yeah.
roads and highways and infrastructure
Yes.
in just a few moments. So
yes.
thank you, Mr. Dominguez.
Thank
okay.
you also, Jason.
Okay, to Roy Gamboa again. For people that don't know you right now, I know you're a proud son of the South. You know, that community is so tightly knit. It's rooted in family and tradition and everything. What else should the people of Guam know about you when they consider you as a senator?
You know, awesome. Thanks, Jason. You know, like you said, I am from the South. I still reside down in the village of Agate. To get to know a little bit more about me, I've spent most of my career in the private sector, working my way up. You've probably seen me out there in my younger years, slinging some Pepsi cans around and stuff like that. And I worked my way up, learned a lot of leadership skills there. And after 9/11, I spent more than a decade of my life with the United States Marine Corps and also the Guam Army National Guard. So I was able to develop and further enhance some of the leadership skills and traits that I got from there. Part of the reason why I'm seeking office is I want to bring a very pragmatic sense to the legislature, where things that we decide in the legislature need to make sense. We can't have too far-fetched dreams that are unattainable. We've got to take small bites at a time, make small improvements here and there, and in the long run, things will start to look a lot better for our island. So thank you very much for the opportunity to have me on here today.
Absolutely. Well done. So you actually enlisted after 9/11 in the U.S. Marine Corps.
Yes, I did.
All right.
And so I spent 2 deployments, first one in Fallujah and the second one in Ramadi. Needless to say, I was very happy to return home. And using that, since then, I've spent quite a bit of time working with veterans and helping them transition from military life into the civilian sector.
Well, I'd definitely like to talk about that in a little bit, Roy. But you've answered the call to serve once, and we thank you for your service. And hopefully, with your now run for senator, you might be able to do that twice. So
Yes,
So well done. All right.
you.
So let's get to the Q&A portion now, guys. And I'd like to start with the senator. And for each of you, I'll ask a question, and then you have 60 seconds for your rebuttal response. Tell me I'm crazy, whatever the response is. A lot of people want to do that last one, by the way. All right, so we'll start with Senator Telo Taitague. Senator, your platform is and has always been transparency and accountability. Can you give me some examples of when those two virtues were best demonstrated by you for our community, transparency and accountability?
Well, thank you, Jason, for that question. And I also want to thank you for your service to Mr. Gamboa. I really appreciate it.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Did you serve? Did
Sorry.
you serve the military?
Huh?
Because did you serve the military? Because I want to make sure I thank you too as well. But
Yeah, I believe, Mr. Dominguez, you were a first lieutenant in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, right?
Yes,
Whoa,
Yes,
thank you.
I'm a
Good.
service there.
Wow.
If not martial law, I could not go Guam. I have a
Oh.
better rope there. But then when I know about martial law being declared, when somebody offered me to be manager
Yeah.
in the island,
Well, you also wore the uniform.
I think like that. I
so-
abandoned all the hopes in the Philippines.
all right. Well, we
Well,
thank you for that.
salamat po.
Right.
Yeah,
Maraming
salamat po.
salamat. So, Senator.
Yeah, well, transparency, accountability, I think I began that in the 35th Guam legislature. It's so important with regards to federal funding that is coming to our island, and I made sure I incorporated that in the budget bill, the reporting requirement of what is being spent from the ARP funding. And this is very important on the perspective of our budget bill. We need this information to know what agencies need to be funded, what is lacking that we can subsidize with. Accountability, the numbers, speak for itself. That's why I totally rely on the OPA's report, very much so, to get any information. You want to find the truth, you follow the money. That's always been my motto.
And you go into the numbers too. Like
Absolutely.
It helps
If
to
you
drill into
see-
those spreadsheets.
Yeah, if you watch the public hearings on this budget bill, I've asked many questions, and I pull a lot of that information from OPA, but it's important to hear what the administration has to say with these numbers and how they're going to move forward. And sometimes we don't get that transparency, and it's
Absolutely.
important that we keep asking and keep drilling it, and I've never been afraid to ask the question.
Certainly, I was going to say, our fine folks and the folks down that run the audiovisual system at the legislature know that you've tested the volume a couple times
Oh,
when
many
you've gotten very
times.
animated, more than a couple times. All right,
Thank
Mr. Armando Dominguez. Sir, this is not the first time that you have run for public office on Guam.
Yes.
You also ran once for senator in 2018.
I did.
What did that experience teach you about what it takes to run for senator on Guam, and will you do anything different this time?
It is very hard to run for office in Guam because island-wide is too expensive. Because right now, the island already diversified. Before it's only few areas, but now so big. Every division, there is expanded that it's very hard. So I aim to think about the revision of our electoral process when it comes to senatorial. The districting that was done is not workable. I think the very districting that is nice is the village, and then the big village is split into 3 districts. And then don't talk about salary, because most of the people running for senator, they're all businessmen, retirees, and things like that. Salary doesn't matter to me, you know.
Okay.
Because everybody's pensioner who's running for office, they got extra income.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, a lot of the problems that our island was experiencing in 2018 are the same problems we have today. So you could probably use a very similar campaign that you did last time. So thank you, Mr. Dominguez. All right, let's go to Roy Gamboa. And Roy, I was very impressed with your bio that you uploaded to KUAM.com. And your campaign slogan says, "Respect Guam," right?
Yes,
and
sir.
being from the South, we know respect is everything, like to all of our people, especially down in the South. So tell me, Roy, what does respect mean to you as a Guamanian, as a potential candidate?
You know, and I appreciate that. And yes, it's one of those things where from a very early age, we are taught respect. We're taught respect, and one of the things that I stand behind with showing respect, giving respect, earning respect, a lot of that has gone by the wayside, and unfortunately with COVID, we've had to keep our distance and things like that. But it's not only a statement, but it's also a call to action. So for all of us to remember that is our foundational root of the people of Guam. We've got to remember to show each other respect in anything, you know, during arguments, during good times, great times, whatever it may be. Being from the South, being from the island, we show each other, you know, we go and we greet each other with kisses on the cheeks, or we mangingi our elders, and just we need to reinvigorate the culture of respect between each other. And also for our federal counterparts, please respect our island, respect our land rights, and respect our decision as a whole. What our intent is if we decide to seek independence or a different status for our island and our people.
Very, very true. Can I just ask before we go to commercial, but did you all like amen each other before we started the segment?
we at least greeted each other, and yes, the general, you know, fist bump is what we've got right now.
We were together before.
He ran as a Republican one time.
Oh, there you
Now
okay.
he's trying a different. He's well versed.
Okay, so tell you what, we're going to get all the amens and, you know, all our tomorrow obligations out of the way, but the hotspot will continue right after that. Stay right here.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Canada Conversations continues, and we continue to let you have an audience with 3 amazing Guamanians that are seeking your endorsement as they seek a role and seats in the 37th Guam legislature once again. A member of the legislature.
Say that 3 times fast.
I don't even know if you're the professional singer. So. Senator Telo Taitague, representing the Republican Party of Guam. A Democrat, Armando Dominguez, running hopefully for this second time's a charm, hopefully for you, Mr. Dominguez. And then another Democrat, Roy Gamboa. So thank you all for joining me again. Senator, let's go to you for our next question. Hindsight, as they say, as they famously say, is 20/20, right? So what decisions that you made and conscious strategies that you pursued as a policymaker during the pandemic era would you have done differently? Like now looking back on it, if any.
Well, I think I know that as the legislature, we still maintain coming in every month to have session to address any concerns that there was. Again, transparency and accountability on the ARP funding that was coming, or it was the CARES Act funds that were coming in, and how to best spend that properly to assist the people. I think we would have pushed more for funding to be given to the community. They really needed it at that time in the 2020. I mean, you're coming in, we started in March of the pandemic. By the time June came around, people were already not being able to pay for their rental or go out and buy groceries. They needed more assistance and more guidelines. I think we would have demanded more accountability on what we're doing, as well as transparency, but accountability on where the funding is going to help them, so people know exactly what they're able to receive. Where can I go get this funding for my rental? Where can I go get assistance for food? In one area, like a one-stop shop, you know, people were they were confused on where to go, and sometimes they just gave up.
A lot of odometers got a lot of miles on them during that
Absolutely.
period, running all over the place.
Exactly, and I think a one-stop shop, we should have created that in the legislature. That's what I've done differently, right
Okay.
at the on-stop.
And hopefully that new the new office, the governor's
They put together. I
relief
have
office.
to admit that is a great idea. I wish it was done in the 2020 when this first started, so people know where to go.
Well, it's here now, and that's the most important thing. I mean, we
Absolutely.
can Monday morning quarterback this thing all we want and everything,
Right.
but it's here now, and it's for the people.
And we're looking at another wave of this pandemic hitting. In a sense, it's not as bad as the first one. I mean, luckily we have the. Oh yes,
Yeah.
please. You
You can knock on suede. It's okay. That works too.
Oh no, I'll stick with wood. Even though I'm not a baseball player, but we do have the vaccines that are helping us to conquer this, and so it won't be so bad. But
Yes. All right.
yeah,
Well done, Senator.
Got to be careful.
Okay, Armando Dominguez, I'd like to ask you, sir, because you have always been a champion for tax reform and for helping out small businesses with relief. How satisfied are you with the current proposed solutions to help small businesses, and what do you bring to the table? What will you do differently
Which one?
for small business relief and for tax reform?
Before
Reform of the
on
tax.
on the reform.
Yes, and for helping small
Well,
businesses.
I'll submit that to the people. I will have a committee whether they like the reform or not. Then when everything is okay, I'll submit it to the legislature for rounding up, whether the legislature like it or not. We will consult the department also, especially on districting, thing like that. We will consult that. I will have a committee that will decide before I will submit it to the legislature. The idea of reforming our electoral process. Anything that I will do will be submitted first with my committee that I will fund it with my own salary to cover the coffee or what breakfast. That's it.
Okay.
That's all.
Do you meet with Senator Joe San Augustine like at all, or do you bring your ideas to
Yeah.
him about?
Yeah, I will always give.
Okay.
I don't care about whatever, especially now that I'm living by myself.
Okay, so
I
so
can-
if you are elected as a senator,
Yeah.
people are going to say, yeah, that's Armando. He's here all the time
Yeah,
anyway.
just
That's-
give
yeah, he's here. And plus, he buys the donuts. He pays for his own
Yeah,
copies.
always private, everything.
All right, very well done, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Roy Gamboa. Among your considerable campaign platform is reestablishing recreational youth sports. Again, I'm reading from your bio.
Sure.
What sports are you eyeing, and how do we get this done? And where do you see us going as a community, with this if we reinvigorate sports?
And the reason why I wanted to focus a lot on that there, Jason, is a lot of our kids nowadays are stuck behind the screen.
Yep.
And growing up, I remember being involved a lot with baseball, football, and soccer. And what it does is it teaches a lot of kids great social interaction. It teaches kids great things about teamwork. Also, there are leaders in the team. And they help each other. And so a lot of the recreational and also competitive sports allows these kids to develop the great social skills. Some of the infrastructure is being redeveloped and revamped around our island right now. And Guam has a great history of sending teams. I believe the senior Little League team is making it its way to Williamsport this
They're
year.
heading out right there right now.
Yeah,
Go Guam.
Exactly, go Team Guam.
Yeah.
And definitely, if there's anything about Guam that we can produce, it's our people, and we've got to develop them at an early age.
Okay.
And so that's one of the key focuses I want to help.
Now, I'm just guessing, Roy, from your stature, you said you played baseball. I want to go ahead and guess were you a shortstop?
Actually, no, because I'm left-handed. I played first base and I pitched.
Oh, okay.
And,
Southpaw.
Yeah, definitely southpaw, and almost always on the right side of the field. Baseball was a great thing, and I remember growing up, my mom was like, "You're going to go play baseball," and I don't want to. She dropped me off at the baseball field, and she's like, "Go see the coach, and you're going to play." And I made some of the best friends in my life, and today we're still doing great. And because of my age, now we're playing Masters, and that's a whole lot of fun, just like watching Little League.
You are one of many outstanding southern pitchers from that part of the island. Yourself and former Senator Tommy Morrison.
Yes, of course, great buddy. We grew
What
up
do you
playing
guys got in the
baseball.
rice down there that you guys your arms are like howitzers, man? You guys just throw fireball all the time.
Yeah, definitely. It comes with the great leaders down there as well, right? So great coaches have come from the village, and we just, with the Masters team, we just took the championship again this year with the Southern Braves.
Congratulations.
So, be it to them.
All right, very well done. All right, Senator, I'd like to go back to you. When budgets get tight, as they're prone to do, typically in education, you know this better than anybody, the creative arts tend to get scaled back. Sometimes even just, it's a tragedy that they get completely cut out. Being a professional musician yourself, What do you endeavor to do to make sure that at theater classes, music, band, chorale, things like that, can be preserved in our public school system?
Well, like Ray mentioned, when it comes to sport, encouraging the young generation and moving in that direction, I think music and arts have always been last on the list. When it comes to budgeting, it's left behind.
The
But
art
I think
program is right out the window, which
absolutely
is sad.
But that's why I like, seeing more of the incentives being brought in by just our local community. They're doing it on their own. They don't need any funding to go pull a guitar and start playing and singing in Chamorro. And we saw so much of that lately. We have so many concerts that are coming on. The Gupa Chamorro that started way back then, and people coming out to sing. I think that's a love in our island that we've always had, and to encourage that. We do it as much as we can. We provide funding, not just locally, but through federal grants, through CAHA, that can provide, incentive for people to create albums, which they've done. Like Patrick Palomo actually went through CAHA to get funding to do this. So there's also nonprofit organizations out there to assist them as well. So everywhere we can, I think we do set aside some funding at GVB. Every year for about $1 million, and that money is given out to nonprofits who want to pursue anything in the arts as far as dancing, cultural dancing, music, so it's there. And I think as long as I'm in there, I'm going to ensure that it moves forward.
And our friend Mike Pangilinan, the attorney, he's actually, he's instrumental right now. He's on the board of a new Performing Arts Academy that's being set up for, for theater, for everything.
Music has always been in the love of the Chamorros, the Guamanians here on Guam. We have such a love for that. Even the Filipinos, they're very instrumental when it comes to music. So we combine our talents together and sing for everybody. It's
very nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
Before I go to Mr. Dominguez, Senator, I've always wanted to ask you, when you were gigging, when everybody knew Telo as the lounge singer, the songbird of Tumon Bay, right?
Yeah.
What was your go-to song that you would perform that would just bring the house down, bring everybody to their feet, and the tip jar was like overflowing?
Well, there's not one go-to song. It just depends on I sing for the people. So anybody who comes up and say, hey, Telo, can you play this one song for me? I mean, that's my favorite song because they asked for it, because it means something to them. And so I would have to say anybody who asks me to sing that song, it's going to be my favorite, because I'm going to sing it the best I can, because I know they want that song.
She takes requests, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I do.
Well, one of your contemporaries, we had former Senator Montecilla Tyron here, and she was saying when she would belt out I Will Survive,
Oh yeah.
the crowd absolutely silent because everyone was mesmerized. So
well,
hopefully on Inauguration Day you guys will be able to do like a cappella or something.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Well, thank you, Senator.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Dominguez. You told our Nestor Lecanto, my friend, and I quote when he interviewed you in 2018, "If you don't have the money, how can we build a school?" Right. Very, very true. Talking about Simon Sanchez and how do we finance it at the time, right? What ideas do you have to increase revenue for GovGuam?
Well, improve the collection process, especially at GMH. Sometimes when you ask the cashier how much you're gonna pay, they will answer you back delayed. Everywhere you go, when you ask them, how much do I owe you, they cannot give you right away. I think that is also random in many departments. So the collection process is not immediate follow-up, so we lose a lot of revenue. In my experience, as a thing from the government, thing like that, even the hospital, the collection process is very weak.
You can give all the invoices you want, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't actually collect
They cannot submit it right away.
So is it, in your opinion, sir, is it a problem of not enough staff?
Yeah.
Do they not have enough employees, or is it more the process?
Which one?
About collections.
Which one?
Are there not enough people, like
Yes.
manpower shortage for collections, or is it?
We have a lot, but the collection process is very
So the process itself.
very slow.
Okay.
That's why we lost a lot of money.
That's
Even
very
the
true.
taxation, the tobacco and everything, you submit the rebate, it took so many long time, to have it done.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. All right, Roy, I'd like to go to you for your next question. You've listed your past employment as you worked at the American Job Center. Very, very noble pursuit there. What does it mean to you, having done that kind of work, to be able to see the impact you make on someone's life when you connect the Guamanian with a job that is meaningful, that will be able for that person to provide for themselves, to their family, to pay rent, you know, to secure a loan and everything like that? And what do you bring to the legislature with that kind of background?
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, the American Job Center opened my eyes, and it showed me that there is a great need for our people. And connecting the jobs and connecting the people, connecting the employers with those that need employment and sometimes retraining, what it does is it gives purpose, and it gives a solid foundation, a great stability to the individual, something that they can call their own. And I believe that's a great foundation. I can tie that in with our Chamorro Land Trust, owning property, owning a home. And one of the key things I want to focus on moving down the road, of course, is ADU zoning, additional dwelling units, tiny homes, tiny home communities. Things like this will allow our people to be proud of the ownership, proud that they're working at and holding down a great job, proud that they're part of the fabric of our community, and be able to contribute as opposed to just, feeling left behind, feeling marginalized. And for what I want to do is I want to make sure that we can encourage people to seek higher, get better education, get better job training, and always raising the bar for our people.
All right, very well done. All right, we have about 1 minute left, so I'd like to give each of you some, maybe just some parting thoughts. I'd like to know for each of you, if you were going to cook lunch for me on this show, because I'm absolutely shameless. I will take food. I can be bribed with a really good empanada, right? Okay, for all of us out there, not just for me, right?
Okay.
If you were going to make a meal of your own hand and from your own kitchen for the people of Guam, Senator Telo Taitague, what would you make?
Well, I'm been a vegetarian for almost 17 years. Probably wouldn't guess because,
I
my
just adopted
size.
that lifestyle myself 4 months ago.
Well, there's, and people say, well, Telo, how come you're so big? Well, unfortunately, there's no meat in pastries, and that's probably my weakest, my weakest part is pastries. But, I would always try to go on the healthy part, side if I were to cook something that's very healthy. There's a great black bean burger that I think you would love with nice avocados, and then have a side of sweet potatoes, which is very healthy for you too. Sweet potatoes rather than fries.
Hey, what are you doing after the show? Huh?
Yeah, right? It's super good.
Okay, so black.
And of course, dessert.
Of
Regardless,
course.
gotta have the dessert.
Oh, that part's first. Are you kidding? All right, very well done. All right, Mr. Dominguez, what would you like to cook for the people of Guam if you could make them a meal?
Well, the thing that I'll do good for the people of Guam is that we don't think much of material things, we have to do to give somebody that need help, so nobody will be left behind. Try to find out what's wrong with them, things like that. We have behavioral people that will do the whole thing, find out why they are being left behind.
Very true.
Well,
nourishment for the soul.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Armando Dominguez, and best of luck to you on your campaign. Roy, I can't wait to hear this. You said you've got kids. I mean, if they fanaticize that much over your socks, I can't even imagine how much you guys network and talk about the meals at the Gamboa household.
It's a typical thing. Small barbecues turn into fandangos. So I wouldn't cook you just one thing. It's going to be a fiesta spread and include a little bit of everything. Our pancit, the barbecue chicken, just name it, roast pig. And one of the things that my grandmother taught me a long time ago, living down in Agate, we bring the cultures of Chamorro and Filipino together. My grandmother made this great bachoy soup. Ooh. And it's a little bit of everything, kind of like here on Guam. We've got a little bit of beef, and we've got some chicken, and we've got some pork, we've got our shrimp.
Yes, please.
With the fried garlic right on top to just top it off. And on weather like today, the bachoy is the #1 go-to, and that's almost always a staple in the house. And I've been commented also to my mom, give her props. She'll make karumpika pig's feet, and just so wrong but so good.
Oh man! and hopefully you have a really big hammock out in the back, so like as soon as you're done with that soup and everything, just go lay in the hammock and leave me alone for the next 5 hours. I'm good.
Sounds good, and sticks right here.
All right, so Roy Gamboa, best of luck to you in your campaign.
Thank you
we
very
congratulate you on running, and we wish you and your family and your team the very best.
Best of luck to everybody.
All right, and also Senator Telo Taitague,
Thank you.
Best of luck to you for your re-election.
Thank you so much, and thank you to you for all the work you're doing and
we got the
listening
easy
to
part.
us and asking questions, you know, so that people are well informed.
All right.
It's important to make a well-informed vote when you go out there.
I
this
couldn't agree
season.
more. Thank you very much. All right, please stay tuned. There is more Hotspot when we return later.